Hello, everybody. My name is Rachel Stivers, and I'm a project manager here at AAAS, and I work on our L'Oreal for Women in Science Award. I thought I would come on today and show you more about our application portal and how to successfully navigate submitting your application. So this is the landing page you'll see when you uh, go to our website and click apply. So you'll see here more information about the award, the eligibility criteria, and the deadline. So if you scroll all the way down, you'll see 2026 L'Oreal for Women in Science Award, and then a button that says Start Application. So you're going to hit that, and it brings you to the application content. So the first tab you'll see here is basic application applicant information. So your name, your email address, your regular mailing address, your phone number, and things like that. And once you fill it out, you'll hit Save and Next, which will take you to the next tab, which has a little bit more information about you, such as your date of birth, how you heard about the program, and then some general questions about who you are as a person. A lot of these questions do have a prefer not to answer selection. So if you would prefer not to answer, you can just go ahead and check those for that. And then you'll hit Save and Next again, which will bring you to the next tab. Before I go on to this tab, please make sure you're clicking Save and Next to switch between these tabs. Since I'm not filling it out, I'm clicking out up here at the top. But make sure you hit Save and Next to make sure that your information is saving. Okay, so this tab is the academic affiliation page. So you'll put your current institution, your department, your job title, your education history, which has some information here about what you should include. So your undergraduate, and then post-university, your graduate studies, and then any other degrees that you've earned. And then a button here or a question here that asks more about any language proficiencies. Then you'll hit Save and Next again, which will bring you to the next tab. So we get a lot of questions about this tab. So I want to walk you through how to add fellowships and scholarships. So what this tab asks you to do is list all of fellowships or scholarships you've received. And this also includes awards as well. So please make sure you include any awards. So you want to include the name of the sponsor from most to least recent. So to do this, you'll hit this button that says Add Fellowship or Scholarship, and it will ask the institution. So for example, if you had a, let's say a fellowship from AAAS, you would put AAAS, the date of the fellowship, and we'll just say today. Oops, one, and then 19th, and then let's say it ends tomorrow. So that's how you'll format that. And then you can put in a description of any of your fellowship accomplishments or scholarship accomplishments. So people ask typically how to format this. You can do hard line breaks or you can do bullets if you prefer. So if let's say one of my accomplishments was um, increasing award engagement and learning social media. Let's say and then you'll hit add. And so you'll see here how it formats it for you. Um, so it does kind of have this kind of run-on sentence here. So you may want to do um, commas or bullet points. So for this example, I'll put comma. So if you have a second fellowship, you would do the same thing. I'll do a test one so you can tell how it looks when you have multiple. And then you would add again, and you'll see what it looks like when you have multiple. For any awards, please make sure you include the amount of the award as well. Okay, and so once you're done with that, you'll hit save and next at the bottom again, which will lead you to our next page, which is publications and research projects. Again, very similar to what we just did for the fellowships and scholarships tab. You'll add any publications here. So you'll start with the research topic. So for example, if I was a biologist, we'll just say biology. You would provide a description of the research. So let's say I'm interested in dolphins. You would put that in there and provide more of a description than that, but I'm just doing a short example here. And then if you published any papers on this research, you would include the full citation here. And then you would hit add. And then it'll, again, create a line item, just like we did before. Okay. And you can always go in and change these if you hit edit and update. So I'll put that and pretend I forgot it, and that's what will show up. So please make sure if you do have a thing here, that it does show up correctly. But for this example, it looks pretty good. So I would hit save and next. And this brings us to our letters of recommendation. So this is a really important page, and it is really important that you make sure that you get all of your letters of recommendation in by the deadline. So what you will do is you will put in the full name and email address of your mentor or advisor, which is your first required letter, your postdoctoral advisor, which is your second letter, and then your third letter could be from anybody else. So maybe a colleague, a professor, someone who could speak to your research. So I'll do me, for example. And you'll hit the send request now button. It automatically jumped ahead because or jumped backwards, I mean, because I hadn't filled out all this information. But you would hit send request now. What that does is it sends this person an email saying, hi, Rachel is applying for the L'Oreal for Women in Science Award. Please submit your letter of recommendation here, and it has the requirements. You please make sure that you hit send request now for each of the 3 people, or it will not send it. So please make sure for each person you hit send request now separately. Do not just click it once. If anyone has any trouble, your recommenders have any trouble, they can email me to help troubleshoot. My email address is on the page here, and I'm happy to help. Okay, and once you've hit send request now for all 3, you can hit save and next at the bottom, which takes us to our record of employment, which is where you'll obviously upload and put in your record of employment. So you would add position, put in the name of your employer, your dates of your employment. And let's say I'm a postdoc, and then description. Okay, and you would add, and again, if you need to edit, you could hit edit here or remove, and if you need to add another position, you can do so here. But once you're happy with how this looks and everything is correct, you'll hit save and next again, which brings you to the details of your proposed research project for the award. So this is the box where you put in your proposal title and abstract, which is no more than 250 words. So please make sure your word count is accurate. You'll select your proposal research area. So for example, if I was sticking with being a biologist, let's say I would say biology, so not cellular, molecular, developmental. This is where you'll upload your research plan. Please make sure you read all of the bullet points here that tell you exactly how you need to format your research plan. It is very important that you follow those, and we do look for those types of things. So please make sure that you're reading the requirements of the research plan. One thing I wanted to point out is that the 3 pages that the research plan is should include any and all of your references. So please make sure that your references are included in that page count. Okay. So then these are the 3 keywords that we ask you to indicate. So it helps us more specifically categorize your proposal focus areas. Then you'll hit save and next again, which will take you to our next page, which is your intended place of the intended place of your postdoc. So you'll fill all that information out, including your advisor's information. One thing that's really important is to check off if your research includes animal testing. And if it does, make sure that you fill out the methodology explanation and include your IRB approval documents here or your IUCAC approval there. Okay. Great. So once you've done that, you can hit save and next again, and it'll take you to your candidate statement. Again, this is a file upload, so please make sure that you're following the exact formatting requested for your candidate statement. Your statement should be 1 page, so 1 exact page, and talk more about how this award would help you conduct or continue your research. Then you'll hit save and next again, which will take you to your community service statement. This is also really important that you pay attention to the formatting, which will be consistent throughout all of the attachments, but just make sure. So you will have 1 page that talks about your community service statement as part of the award. Okay, so once you upload that, you'll hit save and next, which takes you to our last tab here, which is our budget. So you will want to upload your budget template. A copy of the budget template can be found on our website, which if you click on this link here will take you to it. I recommend right-clicking and opening in a new tab. I'm pretty sure it does that already, but I wouldn't want you to like lose any progress. So make sure you use our budget template, and it talks more here about some of the budget requirements. So make sure you read all of these things. Once you've uploaded your budget template, make sure that you provide your budget justification, so the rationale to support the allocation of the budget amounts that you're proposing. Okay, so once you've done that, you've finished, and you'll hit save and finalize, which obviously it won't do because I didn't fill it all the way out. But it should save and finalize, and then you've successfully submitted. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful. Please feel free to ask if you have any questions, and I'm happy to help. Thank you so much for watching.